As Texas was getting battered by flooding that obviously took the lives of many dozens of Texans, Ted Cruz was busy. And I would not have believed that this could have worked out the way it did. But he was yet again on vacation. As his state was being racked by another disaster, he was off having fun. In this case, not in Mexico, that would have been too perfect. No, he was in Greece, and he was apparently spotted visiting the Parthenon in Athens with his wife Heidi on Saturday evening. That was, by the way, a day after Camp Mystic announced that more than 20 girls had gone missing in the floodwaters. So that's days after the initial concerns over storms. That's a day after the flooding and the kids are missing. He wakes up. I don't know what he has, eggs or what do they have for Greek breakfast? And then he puts on an outfit and then he goes to the Parthenon. Maybe he checks in on his phone. Yeah, still haven't found those kids. Those are some great ruins, man. Look at that. Oh, they're ancient, beautiful. And I'm sure they were. I'm not sure that should have been what he was focusing on at that particular time. But it wasn't just that he was on a vacation. He continued vacationing as his state was once again hit. And he has to remember that he's the guy most notably known as the one who abandoned his state during inclement weather, right? Okay, maybe that's not what he's best known for. It's probably the tweeting out the porn video that he liked. But he's second best known for abandoning his state. And still, did Heidi maybe say, this feels like maybe we should go back? Did one of his kids say like, hey, you're really getting roasted on social media? He seemed oblivious. He was having a lot of fun with it. And so he was with his family. He had a security guard. Apparently an eyewitness said to him, 20 kids dead in Texas and you take a vacation. He sort of grunted and walked on. His wife shot me a dirty look. Then they continued on with their tour guide. Now, again, this is an eyewitness account. We don't know if any of that actually happened or if it's accurate. It's also possible that the wife was giving Ted Cruz a dirty look and the guy was just in the line of fire for the dirty look. I imagine Ted Cruz gets a lot of dirty looks, but in any event, you can see a shot of him and you got some nice stonework in the background, great ancient history. And look, I love people having the opportunity to go and experience these ancient historic sites, but again, you have a responsibility. I mean, presumably, Ted, when you decided to run for re-election again, it was because you at least were pretending to care about the job, right? Again, I would love one example of Ted Cruz outside of campaign season appearing to care literally at all about being a senator. And I don't just mean in terms of the vacations. The dude doesn't care. Like, you think he's in hearings? You think he's going to like committees? You think he's working on legislation, doing constituent work? The dude immediately rushes to a studio any chance he gets to record a podcast. This dude is so utterly disinterested in one of the most amazing jobs you could ever have. He's so bored with it at this point. And so anyway, he apparently landed in Athens on Thursday. So just to be clear, it's not like if he'd woken up on Saturday and had to rush back, I didn't get to vacation at all. He'd already been there for more than a day. No, he demanded more vacation instead of returning to help out his state. He apparently talked to, Dan Patrick did his press conference. So again, there's all these updates where he could have theoretically known what was going on. He got back on a plane to Texas on Sunday. He completed his whole day in Athens, his second full day in Athens. He goes to the Parthenon, he goes to all this stuff the next day. Now, they, like with Trump, are doing damage control. And so his communications director says, it's a bull-ass piece published by a bull-ass rag outlet with no credibility and with no regard for the tragedy in Texas. I think we've already covered who doesn't have any regard for the tragedy in Texas, Macarena. But anyway, the senator is on the ground in Texas and arrived as fast as humanly possible. I explained all of this to their two-faced reporter. What, two-faced means something. What, was the reporter really nice to you before and now they're being mean? I mean, you can say they're being mean, but that's still just one face. Anyway, you can have just one bad face. Look at Ted Cruz. And anyway, okay, so to that. Did he get back as fast as humanly possible? Again, I'm not gonna get down on the guy if he flew to Greece once the disaster had already happened. But did he get back as fast as humanly possible? Apparently, flight data shows multiple flights from Athens to San Antonio, Texas on Friday and on Saturday after the floods hit. And it's not currently known how many seats were available, although arguably, even if they were all booked somehow, I imagine the US government could do something to get a senator on the flight, or he could pay them off. It happened in Home Alone. I feel like you could hand over a Rolex or something. In any event, there were other flights as well. One's going through Chicago, Atlanta, like you could have gotten close and then driven. You could have done all sorts of things. Flights were available on Friday once the seriousness of the floods was becoming apparent, although in Ted Cruz's defense, it was becoming apparent to people paying attention and or caring. If you're off in Athens and you don't care, then sure, maybe you don't know initially. Maybe you don't know until little girls are being swept away by the raging floodwaters. Unfortunately for Ted Cruz, even after that, he didn't rush home. And so Macarena Martinez is doing her job or whatever, earning her paycheck, lying for Ted Cruz. You don't get hired to be his communications director without knowing that you're gonna have to tell some ridiculous lies to cover up for how eminently cruel and callous he is. But it's just a lie. He didn't actually rush back. He could have been back more than a day earlier, arguably 2 days earlier. He could have been there. And think about the opportunity wasted, Ted. You could have been hanging out on the bank of that river with a Fox News reporter way earlier than you ended up doing it. In any event, look, I know most of the people watching, especially those watching live, you have no expectations or standards for Ted Cruz. It doesn't surprise anyone that he's not doing his job. I'm just doing this video to once again throw it out there in the ether and hope that a few people in Texas wake up to the massive wasted opportunity that you have every single day as long as Ted Cruz remains your senator. You could have an actual person who cares about Texas, who cares about Texans. There are literally millions of them, and unfortunately you guys have chosen a guy who doesn't give a damn.